G'day, if you've got a Hilux Workmate 2011, through says late 2011 through to 2015, the last of the N70 Hiluxes, in a KUN26R, that's the 4x4 Workmate. In manual transmission, this might be the best modification that you could possibly make to that vehicle. It's going to make the most amount of difference for the lowest amount of money, really. Absolutely phenomenal. I've done it to 3 of them myself. Absolutely astonishing. These cars, watch the review of the Workmate separately to talk about what they do when they don't have. They're a very basic vehicle, and one of the things they don't have is cruise control. Pretty annoying in this modern era, have a car without cruise control, but technically they do have cruise control. Because if you buy one, you'll see no cruise control stalk, but the cruise control module and everything is there. All you need to get it going is just a very basic couple of things. You need a clock spring and you'll need a cruise control stalk. And the rest of it you can pretty much make up as you go along. Pretty simple. Separate companion video to this. You can do this as well by adding steering wheel controls at the same time. Watch a separate video on that one if you're interested in that. But cruise control, how do you add cruise control? Well, if you have a Hilux Workmate, you'll have a basic vinyl steering wheel, and it won't have these. It won't have the steering wheel controls either side of the wheel. These are blank. Both sides are blank. There's no steering wheel controls, none at all. Now, you don't need to amend that. You can use your existing wheel. So what you need to buy to make this happen is you need a cruise control stalk and you need an SR5 clock spring. The SR5 clock spring has 2 plug holes that go to the top, whereas the Workmate only has 1, because you need that to be able to plug the cruise control unit in. So you need an SR5 clock spring. SR5 clock springs are really, really expensive via Toyota. You're talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You can buy them cheaply on eBay or something, Amazon, some aftermarket parts resellers do them. You can buy them for as low as $15. I have bought those before and they kind of last about a month and then give up the ghost. I don't know if that's just my experience or whether that's common, but I've found, you know, in the $30 to $50 range, one with a warranty from some sort of reputable reseller, aftermarket. I fitted them to a bunch of vehicles, to the 3 Hilux Workmates I've had after giving the cheapies a go, and I've had no problem with them, work fine. So SR5 clock spring, cruise control stalk. You can buy them genuine. The cheapest way to do it is Wrecker or on eBay second hand. You'll pay under $50 for one of these cruise control stalk. It'll come with the cable. You'll need a couple of screws to go into your steering wheel. The steering wheel mount should have the holes to plug them in. While you're there, why not upgrade your steering wheel? Why not go and just buy one of the cheap, it'll spend you a little bit more money, but it'll get you a few more things. You can buy an SR5 steering wheel complete or an SR steering wheel complete, and that'll have your steering wheel controls on it, and it'll have, you'll just need to buy a clock spring. It'll have the plastic cover at the back, which you don't need, but it does fit it out nicer if you get that. So if you buy a complete steering wheel and a clock spring, that will be all you need to do. So you can do it that way, or if you want to do it on really, really bargain and just spend the least amount of money possible, cruise control stalk, SR5 clock spring, that's it. Now, when you have an SR, at the back of your steering wheel, you'll have a plastic cover like this, but in the Workmate, it doesn't have this side that pops out. So on the SR5, this little panel pops out on the plastic cover, the shroud that goes at the back of the wheel like that. It doesn't have it. So you can get around that by just drilling a hole, big drill bit, drill a hole in it so the steering wheel, the cruise control stalk can stick through. Or you can pick, geez, these are a dime a dozen. Wreckers will have these everywhere. You'll pick them up for very, very little. Complete shroud with the cover. It's got little foam inserts that'll stick out there. Looks a little bit neater than just drilling a hole. I have drilled a hole in the first one I did. Doesn't look as neat, but you can do that if you really, really, really want to do it on the cheap, because this and this should cost you maybe $60, and for $60 you're going to have cruise control. So take that, so look at a separate video on how to remove a steering wheel. You pull the steering wheel off, take the clock spring off. With the clock spring it'll come with a tab in here so you can't move it. You pull it off and then you put the new one on, plug it into the harness, 2 plugs here. Put the new one on, put the wheel back on, plug it all in. You'll now have extra connectors. You'll have extra connectors for if you're adding steering wheel controls, you'll have extra plugs for steering wheel controls, and you'll have an extra plug for the cruise control. So you'll need to plug all those in. Airbag in, you've disconnected your battery and all that sort of thing when you've done it. Screw it up, all done. Turn the car on, drive down the road. On your steering wheel stalk, turn it on, your green light will come on and it'll work. So I've done it with 3 Hilux Workmates and this has all worked. Very, very simple process. I know the Workmate was the bargain basement model. This won't work in other Hiluxes as best as I know. Like if you have an SR from 2005, they don't even have the loom. Forget about the cruise control module, the loom's not there. So those earlier SRs, this won't work where there's no cruise control. The 2011 onwards Workmate, everything's there. All you need to do is add the clock spring and you are good to go, which is absolutely ridiculous. The Toyota, for the sake of just a part that that would have cost them 20 bucks maybe, plus the clock spring, which they were fitting anyway, they just needed an SR5 clock spring. Why they wouldn't have done this, I have absolutely no idea, but they didn't. And most Workmates you see come up for sale, they don't have cruise control. They don't have it. So nobody's realized that they can do that. So therefore, they just haven't done it. So again, this won't work on other vehicles. You could try it on the previous models. You want to see if the loom and the cruise control module's there. But 2011 to 2015 Hilux Workmate 4x4, it's there. All you need to do is add the stalk in that. So watch the separate video here on what to do with steering wheel controls. Hope this is useful for you. Thanks for watching.